Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, 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 yeah. Look, welcome back. It's a new school year and I'm ready for that. Got my clothes picked out with the fresh new sneakers. Ready to meet cool friends.
Well, welcome to 2023. Thank you all for joining the Fort Bend ISD Teaching Parents About Attendance. We are very excited about today's dialogue and the questions that you may have. This is the first for us, and I really want to thank Christopher and the communications crew and my campus data coordinator, Ms. Kathy Newby, who's on board to answer questions, which we will allow at the end of the session. There is a Q&A option that you may be able to view, and you may enter questions there as well. All right, so the first day of school when kids arrive, they are so excited, and so are we. We are anxiously awaiting our new students, and we want to engage them in good academic and sound instruction. But as you know, when they get home, you have several questions you want to know immediately. What might be some of those questions? Well, you may want to know, how was your school day? How was your lunch? Did you make it to all of your classes successfully? Do you like your teachers? These are some of the things parents and guardians typically ask on the first day of instruction. But what we don't have are those attendance questions. Do parents ask their children, did you go to every class on time? How many of your classes were you late for? Do you know the best pathway in the school to get to your class so that you're not late and therefore missing instruction? And that's what today is all about, having you fulfilled with tidbits and knowledge and information on attendance taking. So, who are the most important people, those VIPs that we have? Well, our teachers, our students, and our parents are vital to the success of our attendance at Fort Bend ISD. We need teachers to take attendance correctly. We need students in class on time, receiving adequate instruction. And our parents or guardians have a right and a duty to get those students up and ready for school. And per the Student Attendance Accounting Handbook from the state of Texas, our teachers, administrators, special program staff, attendance personnel, registrars, and my PEEBS team, we all have skin in the game because the state awards us funding when students are in attendance. It takes a collaborative effort from all of us to ensure that our students are well educated and in attendance. So we do need you, definitely. Also needed are our master schedulers who go out of their way to ensure that your child has the correct schedule. We also look forward to our program directors ensuring that our students are receiving the correct services to make them academically adept. And our data entry personnel who oversee coding after coding and go through all of the records requests. We are very appreciative of all of those staff members as well. So when you look at this typical high school schedule, you see 7 classes and you see some times. So our schools regulate instruction according to our Bell schedule. So what does that mean? That means that at that particular time, that time that we're looking at it, TEA, the Texas Education Agency, tells every independent school district and charter that they have to have a snapshot time in which we record attendance. So, what is that OAT, the official attendance time? It's a special time that we take a snapshot of who is present at that particular time. We need to know that students are accounted for funding at that particular time every single day. Although at the secondary level, we take attendance every period, but this time, once selected, cannot be changed as the school year goes on. So at our elementary and high school campuses, we have set that time at 10 o'clock a.m. and at the middle school, 10:15. Now, some of our campuses have different types of bell schedules, different types of master schedules, but we still stick to that very important OAT, official attendance time. Our data entry personnel run reports to see that teachers have taken attendance at that time, because if audited, we want to ensure and be able to tell the Texas Education Agency that we are in compliance. So why do we take attendance? Why is taking attendance such a big deal? Well, the state wants all of our schools to take attendance for two basic reasons: funding and course credit. The state indicates that 90% of the time that a course is offered, students should be in their seats and being accounted for, because every single child can bring in a different amount of money depending upon the types of services that they need, the type of instruction they need. We graduate the best of the best, and we want to continue to ensure that all of our students are receiving adequate instruction and that our teachers are taking attendance so that we can vouch that they were in class receiving this instruction. Without adequate attendance, some of our services might be in danger, and we do not want any of our students to suffer any reason academically. So again, we have to ensure that students have schedules. So you as a parent, we want you to know that scheduling and information we receive from other schools when our students are enrolling with us for the first time, we want to make sure that they are all aware of this vitally important information. Because historically, Fort Bend Independent School District has had great attendance. We have been at 96.5%. And of course, here comes along COVID, so our attendance dipped a little bit. But that's what we do as a school and within our campuses. But do you, as a parent or guardian, do you know what your child's attendance was last year? Did you contribute or hurt our district's attendance? Well, let's take a look at it. Historically, we have been at 96.5%. You can see it over the years. But the yellow arrow indicates where we are now for 2022, 2023. And as you can see, it has dipped. So we have a bell schedule, we have a calendar team, we have a lot of different things that go into making this determination. But when students take extra days off, when students don't return after a long holiday, when students go out of the country for a limited amount of time, our attendance can be greatly impacted. So we want you as parents to be made aware that our attendance directly coordinates with our budget, and we want to ensure that nothing is going to hinder the services and the excellent instruction that we provide to our students. So when is attendance taken? Remember, I mentioned snapshot time, the official attendance time, and also that's tied to that schedule that each of our students receive. So how is attendance taken? Well, every teacher has a grade book, and in their grade book, they can see program codes that students are in. They can select that all students are present, they're late, they're tardy, or they are absent. So it starts with the teachers taking attendance in their grade book, because remember, the state says that every student needs to be in class receiving instruction 90% of the time the class is offered for course credit and for funding. So what happens if a teacher does not take attendance on time? Well, what we're saying to the state of Texas is that 100% of our students are present. And we know that that is not the case every single day. So it is important for parents to get students to school on time. And even though at the elementary level, our official time is at 10 o'clock, school starts much earlier. So we don't want students missing out on vital instruction. So what happens if your child is absent? Well, you can go to our website, www.fortbendisd.com/attendance, and look under helpful hints. You can, in the red box, see the section entitled Email My Child's Excuse Note. Locate the email address for your campus. So this is how you can find the email address for your attendance clerk. Or you can always send the note within 5 days. So it's very easy for you to send a note or communication to your campus attendance clerk. We also afford Skyward Family Access to all of our wonderful parents and guardians. This is an opportunity for you to set grading thresholds so you can receive alerts. We send information out. We want to notify our parents of the whereabouts. And each day in the afternoon, we send out a Blackboard Connect. And this is a sample of the report that we send out. We send this out to notify you, hey, Johnny or Joey or little Susie wasn't in school today. And we want you to be aware. It's not only out of safety and security concerns, but we want parents to be made aware if their students are not in school, not receiving instruction. So this is a very important part of today's webinar. A lot of times we get asked questions about taking a kid to the doctor. If you start your child's academic day and then pick them up to go to the doctor, or if they miss their morning classes and they go straight to the doctor, bring them back to school. Starting the day or ending the day means that your child is present. And the state says, as long as they make up their work and you have proper documentation from the medical professional, then your child is considered present. So yes, do not keep your child home all day for a 1-hour appointment. Have them come to school, have them get their work, have them sitting in class, and then sign them out. Take them to the doctor and then bring them back to school. Because the state says the child must begin classes or return to class on the same day of the appointment. And with a note from the medical professional, your child is present. So we don't want students missing instruction just because they had a doctor's appointment and they can always come back to school. So start or end the school day, bring back that medical note from the medical professional, and your child is going to be considered present. Now, our wonderful attendance clerks, and some of them are on the call, we salute you in all the work that you have. Once they get that note from you, the parent or guardian, then they have to determine what type of absent code am I going to utilize. Secondly, they will affix a reason code to this note. So they have a very important job. Sometimes they have to send for your child. Hey, you were out this week. Where's your note? Or they look at their Raptor report or their sign out and they say, hey, these 5 students went to the doctor. I didn't get a note. So they're constantly tracking your children down to ensure that we do not code their absences incorrectly. And we definitely don't want any truancy opportunities. So we want you as parents to know that the state of Texas has provided us with 18 different types of reasons why your child can be absent as long as they make up their work and they are considered present with the proper documentation. And these 18 reasons can be found on our attendance webpage, www.fortbennisd.com/attendance. We have the full explanation for you, and we encourage you to please go there and read up on these reasons. Our goal today is to build and continue the collaboration between our parents, our guardians, our teachers, administrators, and students. We want you to be aware of all that we know that will help you make better attendance decisions for your child. So why do we count on you? Why do we need you? Why are we so glad you're on this call? In Fort Bend ISD, we do not have this, and I'm going to share with you a little funny video clip.
All right, class, let's button it. Becker. Here. Callahan. Callahan. Delivery confirmation on Callahan.
Drop them off at 8:15.
Gymnasium.
No, sir. No Callahan.
Always.
No Callahan. Just a freshman.
Thank you.
No emails from his parents. Drivers, I need a 20 on Callahan. Got him. Reroute him straight to detention.
Well, we don't have 9 to 10 people tracking down every kid who's not in class on time. So we count on you. We depend on you. We thank you for being part of our presentation today. And hopefully you have garnered some good information and tactics that will help you. So at this time, I will stop talking. And if there are any questions or someone wants to come off of mute or onto their camera, we will be glad to address any questions you may have. You can also drop your email address in the Q&A or in the chat box if you want one of us to reach out to you personally because you have some personal questions about your child's attendance. We will glad to do that and cater to your questions at this time. Okay, we don't
So-
see. Yes, go ahead, Christopher.
What if, like, my appointment is around 10 o'clock, like I have a 10 o'clock appointment for my kid, what should I do?
Well,
Or
if
like
you're
if my appointment falls around our
snapshot
OAT
time,
Yes.
yes. So if your appointment is around that time, of course, you would pick your child up from school sooner. That's the purpose of the note because the teacher is going to mark that child absent. They're not going to say, oh, well, Johnny told me he was going to the doctor tomorrow, so I'm gonna mark him present anyway. No, they have to lay eyes on the student. So although marked absent, our attendance personnel go through what's called reconciliation. They want to reconcile that absence, and therefore, when you come back and drop them back to school or the next day, if they've started their school day, bring the note and that attendance clerk will change that note to medical present, a present funded code.
All right, and looks like we do have a question in our chat.
Okay.
How are off-campus field trips coded for students who participate? How are
Good.
on-campus activities like GT Showcase or Science Fair coded for students who participate? Is the coding the same for both elementary and secondary schools?
Yes, so we don't change our attendance codes depending upon the type of school level. So for those field trips, typically they're with a staff member, and the state recommends that they have to be with a staff member. And the staff member knows ahead of time who's getting on the bus to go on that field trip. They typically account for every kid, and they will give that notice or that list to the attendance clerk so that those kids' codings can be coded, and that is one of our 18 funded reasons. So yes, we do have a code for extracurricular or co-curricular field trips, and if they are with a staff member, then they are coded as a present code.
All right, we have another question in our chat.
Okay.
How to correct if my high school student was recorded as absent and he was only late? How do I correct that?
Okay, so what you would do would find your campus attendance clerk's email address and notify her that although he was late, now if they're more than 20 minutes late into the class, then they are considered absent because they've missed too much of the instruction. So they can be, that may be reconciled if he was just slightly tardy, a few minutes, and the teacher took attendance early, but that can be reconciled. We have had some weird and unique situations, Christopher, whereby a student had to produce the worksheet or the test or a quiz to show proof that he really was there, especially if it was a sub taking attendance.
Awesome. All right, we have
Thank
another
you.
question in our chat.
Okay.
This question or this statement, this comment says, I need clarification on absences, school related, college tours, illness with or without doctor's note for high school exam exemptions.
Okay, so final exam exemptions are set by our Department of School Leadership, but they utilize the 18 funded reasons as non-exempt. You will not be prevented from being exempt from final exams if you have one of those reasons. But if you go to our webpage, www, and Kathy, if you could put that in that answer to that parent, that would be great on the Q&A. If they would go to www.fortbenISD.com/attendance, we have the full and the condensed version of those 18 reasons. We also have it straight from the Student Attendance Accounting Handbook, known as the SAW, and that is in section 3.6.3, where they can read upon it and receive it. Our final exam exemptions information is also provided in the Student Parent Handbook, and they can reach out to their campus principal or assistant principal if they want clarification on the rules for the high school's exemption policy. These are great questions.
So that website is posted in both the Q&A and in the chat for you,
All
Dr.
right.
Guillory.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yes, ma'am.
Our district team's numbers are also on our webpage. I do get calls from parents with questions. So, if you have a question or you have another, if you want to put my email address, please, Kathy, in the chat, they can reach
Yes.
out to me, julie.jubertguillory@fortbentisd.com, and you can email me if you have a specific question as well. Like I saw something else pop up.
Yeah,
Ms.
we have
Harper?
another question, and
Okay.
I don't know if you can answer this one, but it's how can one learn more information about full-time enrollment to the Texas Virtual Network?
That's in the Student Attendance Accounting Handbook. And I'll have Ms. Newby, if you can post that document, that document in the chat or a link to it. Then that way they have an entire section at the end of the Student Attendance Accounting Handbook just on virtual school network requirements and attendance taking. So that's a good question. It's in the Student Attendance Accounting Handbook.
All right, and we have another one.
Okay.
Is STAR testing coded as absent for elementary or secondary? If coded as anything other than present, what coding might parents see?
If the students are removed from class, whether it's a pullout or testing, and the teacher marks them absent, our attendance clerks do a great job reconciling that attendance. If they go into an office or another instructional setting, whether it's the counselor's office, the AP's office, the principal's office, the nurse, the clinic, they should sign in and sign out. This lets the clerk know when they get those lists that at the time that the teacher marked them absent, we know where they are, and the coding is changed to a present coding, and it's typically other or office. And I think Kathy has put the Student Attendance Accounting Handbook information in the chat, and it's also posted on our webpage, www.fortbentisd.com/attendance.
So I do want to encourage our parents to post more questions, but I also want to say that I know many folks joined a little late. We will end up posting a recording of this training on YouTube later on. And we also have a training this afternoon at 6 p.m. as well. So if you have a friend that needs to know more about attendance, please encourage them to join. So we just got another question in our chat. Would that happen if STAR testing is in a regular classroom? So still about that STAR testing and coding.
Well, typically when we have our STAR end of course testing, we have an altered bell schedule so that those students who have already tested and passed, they come to school at a different time. The state of Texas requires that on those type of days, we have to have at least 4 hours of instruction. Even on an early release day, we have to have 4 hours of instruction. We are also under the umbrella of a waiver that allows us to take attendance at a different time. So if your child will start testing on campus with their teacher or with a different teacher and they were marked absent, those lists of attendance have to be given to our clerk. So we would ask that you allow grace and patience and give our clerks a few days so that they can ensure that all students who were tested, their attendance is ratified to present.
All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. Please feel free to get in some questions while we're still here, folks.
And they could also send me a question via my email. Is that present or present funded? Yes, that would be present funded if they were on campus with a staff member and they reconciled to indicate that the child was present at that time. You're welcome, JP. I want to thank you again, Christopher and Derek, for helping us with the technical aspect of today and getting all this set up, for the communication team, also for all of those who have been in attendance. We appreciate you all, and those of you who are brave enough to ask questions. As Mr. Smith said, we'll be on again this afternoon at 6 o'clock. We always try to offer 2 different session times so that we can afford the opportunity to parents who work and those as they're getting off from work. So hopefully if this is successful, we can offer this again, maybe next month or in March. So it'd be always good to remind our parents about attendance. So I thank you all for attending, and I think we'll end this morning's session because we don't have any more questions, but we have put a lot of vital information out there for you all. So thank you for attending and have a great day.